Hey everyone, today we are doing something we've never done before. Under all that junk, there is my friend's Volvo 240 wagon, and we are swapping out the engine for this car. We've been wanting to do this swap for a long time, and today's the day we will finally start the project. We're swapping the engine to a M52 B25 engine from a BMW E39 that we picked up 4 years ago for only €300. The engine came complete with the transmission and wiring harness with ECU. The BMW's M52 B25 is a straight 6 2.5-liter engine that's known for being pretty bulletproof. Not nearly as bulletproof as the M50 engine, but we decided to go with the M52 since it's a lot cheaper. It's got plenty of potential, and we're looking forward to seeing how it transforms this old wagon. When we bought the engine, we just dropped it into the engine bay and left it there to collect dust. Since then, we've been looking for the motivation to start the project. Now, I will move the E30 out of the way to make more room to work around the Volvo. While I'm moving the car, I just want to take a quick moment to thank all of you who have subscribed to the channel. We just recently hit 1,500 subscribers. Your support means so much to me, and it helps me keep creating content like this. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Okay, I think I have now moved the car out of the way. So, back to the video. We're not just blindly jumping into the project. My friend here actually bought engine mounts specifically made for this swap. So these BMW M52 mounts should fit the Volvo 240 chassis perfectly. They cost about €250, but we think it's worth it to make sure the engine sits in the right position and angle. We're hoping this will save us a lot of time and headaches down the line. But first, we have to remove the old engine mounts. We saved you from all the hassle of removing the old red block, but that was probably the easiest part of this project. As you can see, the M52 fits surprisingly well to the engine bay, but I'm afraid we have to do some modifications to the transmission tunnel in order for the transmission to fit into place, but we'll see. So step 1 for getting the M52 into the Volvo is mounting the engine mounts. We are going to lift the engine out just enough that we can fit the mounts in their places. Something is blocking the engine from lifting out. Seems that this tensioner is hitting the crossbar. Let's remove it and try again. There we go. These mounts are designed to make this swap as smooth as possible. They're going to make sure the engine sits at the right angle and in the correct position. We thought about making our own engine mounts, but we don't want our engine sitting off center. It's a good thing that the mounts are two-pieced, so we can mount the upper parts to the engine and lower parts to the subframe. So dropping the engine on the mounts should be an easy task. So there is this plastic cover on the steering column, which is blocking the lower mount from going in its place. We'll remove it and see if the mount fits. The steering column has a sleeve that is also blocking the way, and it is not removable. I guess we have to grind the mount a bit. It barely fits, but we loosened the rack just a little to make more room. We will probably make some spacers to raise the steering rack a little bit. Now that all the mounts are in place, we should be able to lower the engine into position and secure it by attaching the bolts to connect the mounts. We left the lower mounts just a little loose because we are yet to center the transmission, so we have to have a little bit of play. There we go, first mounting bolt in place. And that's the second one. Okay, engine is on its mounts. Now let's tighten the connecting bolts. Look at that, the mounts work perfectly. Seems that the anti-roll bar is hitting the oil pan. It's not a huge issue, we can make spacers for it later. For now, we'll just loosen it so it doesn't interfere with the installation. Man, that looks good. It actually fits. The engine mounts are doing their job perfectly, holding everything in place. Our next step is just as crucial as the engine mounts. We have to fit either this transmission mount or make our own trans mount. Okay, so the mount is not too far away in order to fit. I installed a centering bolt on the transmission tunnel to see when the output shaft is in the center of the car. It seems that we actually can use the BMW transmission mount. We'll center the engine and make holes to the floor for the mounting bolts. I'll drill smaller holes from below and then make the holes bigger from inside the car. And the work light ran out of battery. Okay, that should be it. Now we'll just bolt the transmission to the car body. We are thinking about making some sort of reinforcement plates inside the car with fixed nuts for the transmission mounting bolts. Well, that was easy. The transmission mount fits perfectly to the Volvo. Lastly, we will tighten the lower mounts since everything is now centered. Alright, the M52 is officially in the Volvo 240. This was definitely a big first step. I can't believe we waited for 4 years for this job. It took us approximately 3 hours to mount the engine. We're definitely not done yet, but seeing the engine in the bay feels like a huge victory. We're learning as we go, and that's what makes this project so exciting. Next up, we will have to work on wiring and figuring how to connect the transmission to the rear wheels, but more about those in the next episode. If you're enjoying this build so far and want to see us finish the swap, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next episode. We'll be documenting every step of this build, so stay tuned. And if you've got any tips or advice for us, drop them in the comments below. We could definitely use all the help. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.